Hi guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. Today you join me in my new Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Now this is not a video that I was expecting to make. So basically the long story short is I put up the Lexus for sale on the Lexus owners page on Facebook. And this chap reached out to me and he said, are you looking for any swaps? And the answer was no, not really. I just wanted to sell it and pocket the cash for now until I get another project on the channel. But he offered me a high mileage Mercedes C-Class C220 CDI W204 estate. We'll get onto the mileage in a bit. He said, look, it's mostly motorway mileage. Been using it as a cab for the last sort of 10,000 miles or so. It's been very rigorously maintained. And I was thinking, well, you know, I've got 3 cars and none of them can fit a bit of furniture in the back. And how ridiculous is that? So I thought, well, you know what, like, it seems like a good deal. This car's worth probably a little bit more than the Lexus potentially, in the hands of the right buyer. But yeah, I quite like it. And let's just skip to the cinematics and see what you guys think.
For those who surround you, need no funny kind. You can't see what's on my brain, I live inside my mind. Out of space and out of sight, you need me in my line. Need no face, don't need no phonies, no, no, no. Need no snakes, no only homies down for show. On go, 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 get a book and get the front and we load up and roll, roll, roll. I got kids, yeah, I got staff, I make a little need more, more, more. I sell records, you sell packs, not on my level, no, no, no. I'm a pop star, I'm a rock star, I'm a winner.
In general, in here, it is quite a nice place to be. I actually really like the two-tone leather. I didn't think I was going to like the kind of the beige and this combination of wood, but it really works in here, especially with the dark headliner. I think it looks quite modern but classy. I do prefer, obviously, the facelift interior with the W204 models, but this one's not too bad. It's missing a cup holder insert in there, but not a big deal. I've also got a car air freshener doodah, one of these kind of explosion ones, because I mean Lucy reckons it smells a bit like sick in here. I can't really smell after COVID still, so luckily I'm not really affected by that, but I mean it was used as a cab, so who knows. But yeah, overall quite nice. I've always really loved the Mercedes dials. I think they do look a bit better in white, but they just look nice illuminated. Like if I put the ignition on, then go over, you can't really see it in this light, but yeah, it's a really nice display. It looks really classy. And of course, plenty of cargo space and passenger space in the back as well. It's a little bit cramped for rear passengers if you're used to something like the Lexus, but works just fine for what I'm using it for. So at this point, you're either saying, Dan, you genius, or Dan, you idiot. But I actually really like this car. I love the colour combination that is coming. The kind of the silver paint and the recently refurbished sort of gunmetal grey wheels. This is Palladium Silver, I think it's called. And I think it suits the car really well, actually. Really always love the styling of these. I do prefer the pre-facelift front end as well, even though the lights would probably definitely look better in a black rather than that. There's a little bit of damage down here, and there's also some very light pebble markings that you probably won't be able to see all over, and there's a little chip on the windscreen there. Basically, this car has spent a lot of its life in France, which is why it's got so many miles on it, because it used to go from here to France basically as a commuter car on the motorway, so that's why it's got so many miles. But it's a really nice spec. It's got the electric tailgate as well, which is really nice. Plenty of cargo space in the back, and it comes with all the usual Mercedes niceties like the pull-out parcel shelf, the dog net, and the shopping hooks, first aid kit in there, and some fancy storage areas under here. Previous owner kindly left me a rear view camera to install if I want to. Close that up, and inside is quite a nice affair as well, actually. So it's finished in this nice cream leather, heated as well. with a rather nice wooden trim as well. I didn't think I was going to like this combination, but I think against the black top of the black dash and the black headlining, I think it really sets it off, and I think it works really well against the silver as well. So all fully electric in here. Let me just hop in and show you a few of the niceties. So of course you've got your electric screen. So as I turn the key in the ignition, the infotainment rises up. Obviously it isn't the newest or best system in the world, and as you can see, not the brightest display either, although I am under direct sunlight, so that doesn't help. Let's just lower the brightness a little bit. Still can't really see it, but it's all controlled by this kind of iDrive style click wheel down here, and it does actually work really well. So yeah, you've got your navigation, which is a bit old-fashioned. You've got your audio, Bluetooth, telephone, video I'm not too sure about. Oh, DVD video included. 6 disc changer as well, I'm assuming in the dash. This needs a bit of a clean, it's a little bit ropey. Is this Futurama? Okay, yeah, so I got a free Futurama DVD in there. That's pretty cool. Changer, let's see. The Best of the Pogues. Fairy Tale of New York is my favourite Christmas song, so I mean that's some interesting trivia, and pretty cool that I've got the CD in the car. And a few other bits, compact guide to pop music, memory card, music register. It says hard disk drive, so maybe there is either a built-in hard drive or you could option a built-in hard drive. Either way, pretty cool to be honest. Let's get out of here and stop playing the copyright DVDs. But yeah, 6 DVD changer then, as it turns out, in the dash, which is a pretty cool system indeed. I've always really loved these gauges as well. Probably look a bit better in white, and I prefer the facelift steering wheel to this kind of weird looking 3-spoke one, but it's not the end of the world. Parking brake is a bit antiquated. You've got a foot brake down there, and then it's released with this lever on the right hand side, and it's not very good, and it's usually broken. But yeah, it's quite a nice place to be, and decent amount of cargo space of course. I just love the way the black headlining looks against the cream leather. I think it's really nice. I do prefer the facelift interior with the kind of the strip there and the updated center console with the screen built in, but I do quite like the screen in this, the way it pops up, and I think it is actually slightly bigger than the one that they included in the newer version as well, which is interesting. Everything does feel rather nice though, like reminds me of kind of like the quality of newer Audi A4s and stuff like that, like the sort of nice clicky dials and that kind of thing. So you can see there are a few more kind of hail marks on the roof there, but it's all kind of stuff you'd expect on a car of age. I do want to probably get some new rear plates because they look a bit rough, and it is a shame that it doesn't have facelift rear lights because I think they set it off as well. But I do really like the way that AMG wheels look, and I do actually think that the colour looks nice. Normally I'm a bit of a sucker for like a standard colour on wheels. I don't really like it when you make wheels black or anything like that, but I think against the paint, I think it does look really nice. So again, it's got quite a good history, this car. Most of its life was spent as a commuter going to and from France, and the bits that weren't, it spent the last sort of 10,000 miles as a cab, but it's had quite an easy life in Cambridge in the countryside as a cab. The only other thing is there's a hole in the thing there, so I think it's probably eaten an animal at some stage. But overall, I mean, when you think what I technically paid for this car was 1,400 quid, because that's what I got the Lexus for, and it was a direct swap. The gent had a Lexus before. In fact, he'd had 2 Lexus GS300s before. That tyre needs a bit of air. And he effectively just said to me, I really miss it. I want something with a bit more rear passenger space, and I want something a bit more plush. And so that's what he went for. So I ended up with this really nice C220 CDI. Under the hood you've got a 170 horsepower twin turbo 2.1 litre diesel engine. Quite good for a remap. Obviously this one's done quite high miles, so probably best to leave it as it is potentially, maybe do a bit more maintenance on it. But aside from that, really impressed with kind of the overall condition of the car. It does actually still have the cab stickers in it, as you can see. No smoking, eating or drinking in this vehicle, but as a car guy I think this kind of still applies, to be honest. I don't want crumbs and smoke and all that gubbins in my car anyway. But yeah, there we go. There's a bit of an overview of my new high mileage Merc C-Class estate. I've always really liked this generation, and hopefully soon I'm going to get a C63 of this generation on the channel to test out. It's a shame that this isn't one of those, but let's be honest, this gets 50 mile per gallon on the motorway, so there's a big difference for you there. Unfortunately, it's not ULEZ free, so living quite close to London, it's not the most beneficial car for me, but at the same time, I think this will sell better than the Lexus, just because someone out in the countryside with a family will love a car like this, and as a high mileage car, I can price it a bit lower, and it will represent a really good value for money. So probably a few more videos to come on the Merc. I'm going to do a proper video review of it as well, and a little bit more about the car's history and that kind of thing. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.